Alright, what is up, guys? The man, the myth, the legend, Quad, MFT here, bringing you a Black Ops gameplay dual commentary with my dad, but this is going to be 134 kills and 13 deaths, my best ever Black Ops gameplay I actually had saved in my vault, so I went back and I recorded it, and I hope you guys are about to enjoy it. It is some headquarters on Nuketown during Nuketown 24/7, so I was trying to get as many 100 pluses as I possibly could, and this is what happened. So introduce yourself, Dad.
Hey, this is the Quad Father. What's up, Warriors? Hey, you know, do you think Nuketown 2025 is going to be anything like this Nuketown?
I think it will be very, very similar to this. I just hope it won't look just like, I mean, who doesn't love Nuketown? All the short-range maps, all the bright colors, just constantly keeping you entertained, and the map is so small that you can get to know it within 15 minutes.
I've always thought that if you buy a map, it should be available for every Call of Duty.
Now that's an idea. I would love to see that.
Yeah, an MW3 Nuketown.
Yeah, or like something from a map from COD 4, like Shipment. But I mean, think about an AC-130 in Shipment. Think how that would turn out.
Well, there's some pretty amazing kill streaks that happen here. So,
yeah,
Nuketown, you get raped, man. Sometimes you just have to have the anti-tank artillery and shoot it down all the helicopters. Otherwise, you just get wiped out every time you spawn.
Yeah, and just a little bit about this gameplay right here. You can see this is about 8 or 9 months old, so I've improved as an overall player a lot since then. So this is not going to be my up to scale how well I am doing today.
Yeah, you're great. We all know you're great. That's why we watch. Okay, hey, I thought we'd talk about a little bit about our wonderful family vacation today.
Well, I mean, we did have a great vacation. I don't consider it to be that amazing, but I did have a blast. I hope you did.
Well, yeah, except for, there's a little bit too much family time as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
Yeah.
I love you, son, but sleeping in the same room as you for a week, it's a little bit much.
Yeah, I get you.
But we did do some fun stuff. Like we got to go-kart racing. That was a blast.
And it's not just the regular go-kart racing. It's good.
No, I've probably done 7 or 8 different go-karts in my life, and this by far and away was the best. Because if you were able to drive well, you could pass people. You didn't have to bump into them. You didn't have to knock them down or get them out of the way. This is just straight fast go-karting, which, I got to say, you got to give me props. Who was faster?
You got first every single time except for once.
Yeah, so, but I got a little bit more practice, and I've probably been driving more than you, unless you sneak out at night with my car.
Yeah, I mean, let's not talk about while we comment.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That would be illegal, and you certainly never have done that, right, son?
Yeah.
Right, you never sneak out with my car. That's good.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay, so, so that was a blast. We also got to go to the San Jose Tech Museum, which was pretty
that
phenomenal.
place was...
Yeah, it was technology. We were on the way there. We were driving by. We saw like 3 blocks of Cisco, like just buildings of Cisco. We drove right by eBay,
different places, eBay, all these different
Yahoo.
places.
We drove right by that. There's probably 2.5 blocks of SanDisk. Where those little memory cards. So we were in the Silicon Valley, and we got to go to the Tech Museum there.
Yeah, it was quite a sight to see.
Yeah, and when we were paying, when I was paying, I asked, I held out my phone. I said, now, is there an app for this tech museum? Because in Silicon Valley, I imagine we have the most sophisticated tech museum ever. And she said, actually, no, we don't have an app for that. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, so we go in.
A little bit disappointed not about how they don't have an app for this museum, but
yeah, well, it was. I figured they have conferences. They have. If you go to Vegas and you go to a tech show or some type of show, they often have an app now, so that you can follow along or get information on the companies that are represented at the facility. So I figured I'd have a tech museum. I mean, it's there all the time. Of course, they have an app, but no, they didn't have an app. So we paid over $12, something like $12 to get in.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, it was a lot of tech. It was a lot of tech.
Definitely a lot of tech.
If you count, stuff from when I was your age.
Yeah,
tech.
it was bad.
Yeah,
it was just bad.
They were talking about like they were representative digital movie making and the new animation that they have, computer animation, and there was standing a stand up of Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear, guys.
He came out before you were born.
Yeah.
You know, this is not. And then you actually got to play some simulation how you get to move a character on a screen, didn't
Oh,
you?
now I've never done that before. I mean, one of the newest things in my life is being able to learn on a 480p screen with a computer that lags every 5 steps I take in that game, getting about 8 or 7 FPS in that. So.
and you actually, they were on bubble screens, those old, not flat screens, bubble screen TVs.
Yeah, you know those big block things that Green Goblin used to have?
We paid money for this.
We gave moolah. We gave cash for this.
For tech.
We got old tech. We got my dad's age tech.
Although I gotta say, you were dedicated, and even though we were on vacation, we were using my newfound tech, the 4G cellular phone, to bring commentaries to the YouTube community, even though you were gone.
Yeah, I try to stay as much dedicated as I possibly can, continually uploading, even though I was on vacation.
Yeah, and we were in the hotel, and you took like 2.5 hours just to upload.
Yeah.
And then we left the hotel, and using my 4G phone, the wireless hotspot, we drove to a local mall, and it just zoomed. It just went right up.
Yeah, 20 megabytes down and 8 megabytes up.
Off my phone.
Yeah, and we had my laptop, and then we had his 4G Wi-Fi hotspot, and it just went by fast. We got that upload ready to go.
Oh yeah, we got way faster speeds than we did in the wireless, with the wireless connection in the hotel.
Yeah.
So that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, the hotel was really, really slow internet.
Yeah, and then we were off the grid there for a while when we went to family camp, which I guess.
Oh, that was horrible. I mean,
it wasn't bad. Well, I got to admit, I got to tell you guys, tell a little secret on a little quad MFT here. When I said, hey, we're going to family camp, I saw all these amazing things we're going to do, and we're going to have a lot of good time together. What was his first question?
Their internet?
Yeah,
Wi-Fi?
their Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Okay, not what are we going to do? Is there a pool? Is there fun activities? Are there going to be girls? Not that. Do we have internet? But, the answer was not really.
They had internet, but it was 0.60 down and
really
0.25 up.
You could just call it like dial-up.
Yeah, dial-up, AOL, whatever
I could get text. I couldn't really talk to people.
Yeah, getting text was kind of weird. I'd go without the day, get like 1 maybe, and then get like 14 at the end of the day because I stood in this one spot for an extra 3 minutes.
Yeah,
and I'd be like,
hands in the air. You're doing like a special yoga pose where you're standing. Hands in the air on one foot.
Hold on. I'm getting some text.
Downward dog. Here you go. Speaking of downward dog, you were quite the ladies' man at the camp, I hear.
I mean, I do live by the Woody's gamer tag motto. Stick and
no,
go.
she bad. You know what? No, never mind.
Stick and go.
No.
You got to live by that motto, friends.
That is a basketball term, and it's not
it is a basketball.
dating.
That's give and go.
All right. Well, that's close. So, So how many did you get? Like several Facebook friends, or meet some, get some digits or something?
I mean, yeah. I'm still talking to one to this day. So.
Oh, okay. All right. You're gonna get your tattoo like we talked about last time.
Yeah.
Let's. All right. So you had a good time. So what else? So we did some fun stuff. We did another thrill ride, right? We did a real life thrill ride.
Yeah, that one was a lot more fun than I actually thought it was going to be, and a little bit less scary than I thought it would be too.
Yeah, I just want to say that the competition that you're witnessing right here in Black Ops, it's close. It's close.
135-0.
So are you sure this isn't a boosting?
Headquarters is always a slide, no matter what. It's never really
is.
close. It's always a slide.
I don't play headquarters.
Yeah, no one does. It was just in the Nuketown 24/7 playlist, and I was like, wow, this is a pretty long game mode. I'm gonna go for 100+, and I got this with the MP5K.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, we got to go on a zip line through the redwoods. It was 6 different zip lines, about 150 feet in the air, which I gotta say, I was petrified.
I know. For some reason, I was just in this mode where I was like, not that scared.
You weren't scared. I was scared just because, well, okay, I gotta say, there were a couple guys that were monitoring or hooking us up and connecting us to the lines and helping us get up on the what are they, logs when you're.
Yeah, these like 2 feet tall logs that were just like so close to the edge, and that was probably the scariest part.
Yeah, you had to stand up on them in order to get them to hook your safety line onto the zip line, or they couldn't reach. So you had to actually stand up a little higher and kind of thrust your hips in the air. Which I don't know. Did you notice the guy was kind of had an eye on me? I thought. I mean, I don't know. He always wanted to give me a boost. He said, "Can I push in your stool?" And I said, "No." So it was a little uncomfortable. And granted, it was fun. I kind of liked
I'm sure
it.
he had fun.
Well, I kind of had fun. It's sometimes just being attractive doesn't matter who you're attracted to. It's just being admired. That's what I liked.
Just fun.
So no. So we got to zip line through, and there was one time where I stood up on the edge and I knocked the log off the 150-foot platform. Fortunately, we hooked onto a rope, and it didn't fall off. But I was sitting there going, "All right, I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall." While he reached down and grabbed up the log. So, it was a little bit scary. But in the end, I got a new Facebook friend and some digits. So,
you did?
Yeah. Well, he's a nice guy. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right,
I didn't get his number, but we are Facebook friends. So, and now he's in a relationship, which is kind of nice.
Just something a little bit out there, something a little bit random.
This is what every son wants to hear about his father. Okay, so now I gotta say that one of the things, the downsides to the fact that we were at camp and on this vacation for so long is we missed double XP.
The worst, even though it doesn't matter for me anymore.
Well, no, because you're playing on Quad MFT. You're not 80 on Quad MFT yet, are you?
I've been 80 for days, Dad.
Really? Well,
days.
Quadfather MFT, I'm not 80 on.
You guys can hit him up on there, add him Quadfather MFT. You guys can also add me, Quad MFT.
Man, that was beast.
I'll play with you guys. Yeah, those guys are sitting back there camping. Headquarters has the most
Oh
random
my gosh,
spawns.
those kills.
Look, they spawn behind us again.
You know what? They spawn like MW3 spawns.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you gotta say that the Black Ops spawns were way better, and I like the slower paced game of Black Ops.
Yeah, the slower killing. Modern Warfare 3, it's just like 2 bullets, dead, no matter what. When you're rushing around with an MP7, some guys just tearing it up with the special skill streak rewards.
It's just way faster, and I think most of the maps are a lot smaller too. I mean, that's...
Yeah, they are. They're more edged around, playing fast paced. Like, you could play a map like as big as Array from Black Ops, and they would somehow maneuver it to be played such as a small map in Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, it's I don't know. So do you want Black Ops 2 to have bigger maps or smaller maps?
I'd love for it to have smaller maps. I'm all about rushing and running around.
Yeah, well, it's... Whoa, what do you got going on here?
Chopper gunner as usual. I'm racking them up.
Oh, I can't even fly a chopper gunner. Okay, so yeah, so you want the smaller maps, and I want the slower paced game like Black Ops. MW3, man, if I don't have my ACR and my portable radar...
Camper.
Well, I can't patrol. I patrol an area.
Patrol.
Yeah.
Patrol.
Well, camping is legit. I mean...
You troll.
I love camping. Don't you love to camp?
Real life camping?
Yeah, real life camping.
You and I are the
I love
exact
camping.
Same.
No, because
we haven't ever been camping. Camping is for the homeless.
Well, okay, that's because out of necessity. They just they have to camp, and I don't think that sleeping in the dirt and sharing a bathroom, that's 100 yards away with 80 other peoples that are all out in the quote unquote wilderness, sleeping on cement, is and working all day to make a meal and clean a dish and making crappy coffee. That to me is not a vacation. So no, I don't dig camping. I think you should be able to survive in the wilderness, which is why we watch, Bear Grylls.
Yeah. I mean that's enough. That's enough camping.
That's enough outdoor.
Yeah.
If we really need to survive, I can drink a cow's urine out of his feces. So I've seen it out on the TV. So I'm sure on the TV, on the cable. I ain't saying nothing. Do these guys even have guns that you're playing against?
I don't know. They just continually run at me, and I die from the stupidest things. I know how I would fix now. Like,
do you have cancer?
You've died of cancer.
You're dead of cancer.
And don't worry, guys. My dad can't actually joke about cancer. He's had it before. That's another story.
No, I'm anti-cancer.
Yeah, who's pro-cancer?
Oh, I guess. All right. Well, so I'm on that team.
You giving that a try?
So yeah, that'd be funny. You died. Whoa, what is that?
Yeah, I told you, headquarters is easy mode.
Well, if you can shoot.
Yeah, I mean, I've improved a lot since then.
Well, why are you saying you're lame? What would you say that you would have gotten 150 and
easy?
8
Easy. I've noticed all the mistakes I've made, saying I could have gone here, I could have ran around this way faster. My aim could have been a little bit more on here. I could have drop shot and stuff like that.
But you didn't die. So do you analyze your games after you play them?
Not particularly anymore, but I analyze like the 7-month-old ones, and I'm
So
like,
when you watch other commentators, do you notice their styles and their angles and their sight lines and things like that?
yeah, I mean, I watch T Martin for his sightlines and stuff like that, but he's just mainly tips. He doesn't have like amazing gameplay like Green Goblin or Incredible Orb.
Okay, so you watch people and you get tips from them.
Yeah, here and there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. This pretty beast gameplay, in my opinion. Was a very long video, probably one of my longest, but you can add this to your favorites if it was one of your favorites, and you can always go back and check on it. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed it. You can always subscribe to see more. Tell your friends about this video. That always helps. It's been Quad MFT,
And this is the Quadfather MFT.
we're out of here, guys. Hey, thank you guys for watching this video, and on the left you'll be able to click on my most recent Weird Weapon Wednesday, and on the right you'll be able to click on a mystery surprise video that hopefully you guys will enjoy of my past videos. It's been Quad MFT. Follow me on Twitter, like my Facebook page, links in the description below. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.